Well, good afternoon everyone. It's Sunday afternoon and here is a progress report on my little project to fit dual dash cam on my bike. It's the Apeman C550 dash cam, as per my previous video. So to install it is a piece of cake actually. It's not in the least bit difficult. It's, as I said in my previous video, you've got a forward facing camera, which is the main sort of module, and then you've got a plug-in rear camera with enough wire on it to do with the length of a car actually. So the first thing I did was to remove the fuel tank so I could route the wire from the rear camera properly rather than propping the back end of the tank. I've done a video about how to take the tank off and it isn't in the least bit difficult at all, although as I said in my previous video I was petrified of doing it until somebody corrected me. It's not difficult to remove. As I say, the previous video in my long list of them says how to take the tank off. So if you look on that picture there, just where this seat would be, there's a load of wire. That is from the rear camera. As I say, there must be a good, I would think long enough for a car anyway, from a rear number plate to the module which you'd keep on your dashboard, I suppose. So there's lots of it, but it doesn't seem to do any harm having the spare coiled up. So the first thing I did was to fit the rear camera. It comes with a little sort of kidney bean shaped sticky pad, but I didn't do that. It's got holes in the brackets as well. So that's the orientation of the camera at the back. So all I did was just drill my stainless steel mudguard, and I used, as you can see, 2 button-headed stainless Allen bolts and obviously nuts on the other side. It's a tiny little camera and it's not in any way obtrusive really once it's on the bike. So I fitted that and then I routed the cable up behind the number plate. You can just see it between the camera and the number plate, and I looped it round one of the rear indicator stalks actually, and then from there put it under the seat, following the right hand side frame tube as in this next photo here. I would strongly recommend taking your tank off, and as I say, you just have to be careful you don't drop it, that's all. You can see the wire there, it's just going over the main wiring harness, and I've cable tied it on. The green connector there is the fuel gauge, which obviously you have to undo to get your tank off, and so you can see that wire running there. I've got the spare. I'll show, there's a picture, this next picture shows just how much wire comes with it. As I say, it is a lot, but I looped it up and just basically tucked it out of the way under the seat, as you can see from this photo here. Now look, so there's plenty of it. It's also got like some kind of long black box thing in there. I don't know what that is actually. It might be something to stop radio interference, or I don't know, but anyway, that's the cable that you get with it. So if you look to the left, you'll see the top of the plastic air box and the lug that the seat goes underneath. The lug on the seat goes under that, so you've got to be careful that you don't route the wire where it'll get nipped by the lug on the front of the seat. But there's plenty of room under there, and far better to have too much wire than too little. So eventually, having done that, the jack plug comes out at the front of the bike like that. So there it is between the clocks. My bike's been out in the rain, I know. I left it out, changed my oil and filter, and was too lazy to put it in the garage, and then it got rained on, but not that it really matters. So there it is, the jack plug comes out. So what I've done is I made a bracket for mine. Mine's obviously got the screen on the front and the little nose fairing thing. So my bracket, yes, I know people are going to look at it and laugh. If yours is exposed, if you don't have a screen or anything, then you'll probably want to make a better bracket than I've done. But I did my usual thing, and I used a piece of black plastic drain pipe, cut a piece off it, and I made a bracket that goes from left to right. If you look at the there are two stainless steel flange nuts, one under each clock on the extreme left and extreme right. They are normally domed nuts. So what I've made is basically a piece of plastic drain pipe, which is pretty thick stuff. Heated it with my Dremel blow lamp attachment, and the two central flange nuts hold the actual pedestal bit that the camera sits on. Again, it's made out of drain pipe. Yeah, I know, you wouldn't want that if you've just got a headlamp on the front of your bike or no screen or something, but I'm sure people can make a better bracket. So there it is. It's a kind of black plastic plinth. I had one on before for my old Apeman camera, but this one's a bit bigger than the old one, and so my old bracket wouldn't fit. So basically I used the left to right plastic bar that was already made up between the clocks there, and then just fabricated, well, if you call it that, bent the plastic, heated it with my Dremel, as I say, and it ends up with like a square plinth there. I just did it on the hoof. I'm sure people can make something really nice, but in my case it's just not necessary. There it is viewed from the front. So you'll see again, you've got the black plastic goes left to right, held on by a nut on either side, and then you've got the two flange nuts in the middle holding on that basically bent bit of plastic. And it has to be, in my case, far enough back, the camera, so it doesn't hit the screen. I don't want the end of the lens, because the lens moves up and down through about, I would say, 30 degrees maybe, little click stop positions, so that it can be angled correctly for the front of the bike or car, whatever. So this is the bracket in place viewed from the side. Yes, I know, it's not a thing of beauty, but none of that is visible. If you watch this video till the end, you'll see that it really, in my case, doesn't matter. But based on how some people have made superb brackets for their rectifier regulators when they relocate them, I'm sure people could come up with something really nice, maybe polished stainless or alloy, whatever. But as I say, in my case, it isn't particularly relevant. Now, the camera comes with a very, very good quality sticky pad, really good, a proper sticky one, the sort of ones you use on number plates. So that's the camera now. It has like a little base station, little docking thing, where if you pull it push it forwards, it comes off the little backing plate, which stays on that plinth I made. The only time you'd really want to take it off, I suppose, is if it's raining, but my other one appears to be completely waterproof and has been for years. So the plinth, on that there is a little locating thing that the camera clicks onto, and this is it in place on my bike prior to putting the nose fairing back on. So it's not obscuring the clocks. The main thing for me was not having the lens touching the smoke screen, and obviously you don't want to be obscuring your speedo, and it doesn't in my case there on that bracket. So what I did was I then put the nose fairing back on, and just checked that everything was, not the camera wasn't touching the screen or anything. And here's a photo of the screen back on now. So as you can see, you can't see my beautiful bracket that I made. It's just not visible. It's hidden. And the camera itself automatically adjusts its exposure. So although the screen is tinted, when it's turned on, you can see the aperture. It does something, and you can actually manually set the aperture as well and make it lighter if you want, but I've left it on auto. It's a very intuitive camera. It's basically the same as the ones I've got in my truck and the old one that's on my Interceptor, and very easy to do. You can date stamp it, you can put your reg number in if you want, set auto off, loop recording over a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or just have continuous recording. So there it is, a view from the front. So it's pretty much non-visible really. And as I said in my previous video about this, you know, anything is better than nothing, I think, in these days, with litigious people, you know, claiming all sorts of things. And at the end of this video, I'll put a little video clip in of firing it up. My plan would be then, I'm going to run the bike, get some footage, and then use this laptop I've just acquired to upload some actual footage of the camera and what it does. You can set the screen to be split, the little screen on the camera, it can be split so that you can see the rear camera in a little quarter panel, bottom left, or you can have it half and half. Obviously you're not going to ride along looking at it, especially since it's actually upside down. I think it would take a very daring kind of rider to be turning upside down on their bike in order to look at camera footage as they drive along. So it's purely for viewing it afterwards. The internal battery is not brilliant, they don't last very long, so you'd have to plug it into a USB port. And there's the view from with everything in place now. The jack plug you'll see in the middle there, that's from the rear camera. The right hand side one is the actual USB lead, and if you look on the just above my handlebar crossbar thing there, you'll see I've got a dual USB port. So it just plugs straight into there. It's set so that when you turn the key on, it comes on automatically, and then when you turn it off, the camera will power down as well. This next shot is just a picture of the screen. That's looking through, don't forget, a smoked lens as well, under a very dark trellis there at the side of my house, the bricks wall, that's the gable end of my house. And the picture that's in the bottom left quarter there, that's a rear view from the rear camera. It's a 720 resolution, you know, it's up to the job, and the forward facing one is 1080. This next video clip shows what happens when you turn it on, so it's all automatic, so you'll see it coming up now. Look, and there it is. You get a little tinkly bell sound to tell you that it's come on. It's got a 32 gig SD card with it, and then when you turn the key off, it automatically shuts off. It's got a microphone. There's the built-in microphone. Well, you can't see it now, but there's the actual camera behind my screen there, obviously. So in my case, you know, the fact that it's a bit of a Heath Robinson, well, a lot of a Heath Robinson bracket, really doesn't matter. But I'd be curious to know, you know, what sort of job other people can do. So here it is, that's the front camera, and a final shot of the little rear camera. And it would be interesting to see how it performs. If it's anywhere near as good as the ones I've got in my truck and the old one off my Interceptor, I'll be absolutely happy with it. It's more than enough to prove anything in the advent of a, you know, an insurance claim, or a claim that you've done something that you shouldn't have done, or whatever. Or somebody said it was your fault, you know, you ran me over, or whatever. It's more than up to doing that, and I'll post some video footage as soon as I can figure out how I can get it onto my channel from a laptop. I've not really done that before, but there you have it. So just a quick update, and I will be posting again soon, hopefully with the actual, you know, film footage from the cameras themselves. In the meantime, take care. The weather's pretty rubbish. It's clearing up a bit here, but I'm going to go and put my bike in the garage now. I'm going to get all that rain off it too. So take care everybody, and I'll post again soon. Bye for now.